talking about who needs God, why do we need God, and how do we get Him? Pretty simple questions. So here's the thing. I've been, I don't know if you want to call it approached or accosted by people trying to evangelize. And they'll walk up to me and ask me if I had a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I tell them, yeah, I do. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, if you died tonight, you know where you would go? Would you go to heaven? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where I would go. Well, why is that? Well, being a minister, I have to at least somewhat know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you for your efforts, but probably be better served talking to someone who needs to hear it. I'm good. Let's go on. Let's move on. But then I got thinking about it, and really, I didn't even like the question. If you approach somebody and say, do you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and they don't even know anything about Jesus Christ, they're going to think in their heads, why do I need one? What does that do for me? What's the benefits of that? So, why do you need one? That's the question we're talking about. Romans 3:9, read out of the New American Standard, says, what then, are we better than they? Not at all, for we've already charged that both Jews and Greeks are all under sin. As it is written, there is none righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks for God. All have turned aside. Together they have become useless. There is none who does good. There is not even one. Their throat is an open grave. With their tongues they keep deceiving. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their paths. And the path of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it speaks to those who are under the law, so every mouth may be closed and all the world may become accountable to God. Because by the works of the law, no flesh will be justified in His sight, for through the law comes the knowledge of sin. Here's the thing. These people don't know why they need a relationship with God, because they don't know that they've sinned. They don't even understand it. To even understand that you've done anything wrong, you have to be told that something's wrong. So when you're a kid, and you walk up and you kick your mom in the shin, and she's like, don't do that, that's mean. You're like, oh, I didn't know. I thought it'd be funny. Good. So, the first question is, who needs God? Who does? Well, we're all on the same playing field, guys. We're born sinners. We are born without a knowledge of God, without any understanding of who He is, or why He is, or why we need Him. Basically, if it weren't for His intervention, we're all doomed. Put it that way. Oh, doom and gloom. Sorry, I'm not trying to be negative, but it's the truth. We all do, though. It says, I just read it to you, there is none righteous, not even one. It means not a single person on this entire creation is righteous. None of us are good enough. Not you, not I, not the pastor of your church. Nobody. Nobody is righteous. But Christ Himself was righteous. He was the only person ever to have to be in human form and not sin. See, it's crazy because you think, well, I'm a good person. I'm nice to people. I haven't killed anybody yet. In my case, I pay my taxes. I take care of my kid. I'm nice to my wife. I'm a good guy, right? Wrong. See, God doesn't see it that way. He doesn't see degrees of good or bad. He doesn't look at me and say, well, you're a little worse than Colin. He's actually a little bit better guy than you are, so I'm going to punish you a little harder, He doesn't look at it like that. You're either there, or you're not. You're either righteous, or you're not. And He just said here, there's none righteous, not even one. Not one single person. So what does that mean for us? Well, it means that without some sort of salvation, that we're lost. There's nothing for us. Nothing for us. It's crazy because there are a lot of people who think that they're good. They think that they're fine, No, I'm a good guy. That question I told you about where people ask you if you know where you would go if you died tonight. There's a lot of people that answer that question as, oh yeah, I'll go to heaven. And if you ask them why, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I thought I was a good person. I was a pretty good kid. I didn't get in much trouble compared to most my age in high school and stuff like that. I was a decent guy, pretty boring. That's my point though, is, how many of you in this room think that I'm pretty good, I'm fine, I'm a good person. There you go. That's what I'm saying though, is it's all comparative. When you look at it through our eyes, Hitler was bad, Gandhi was good. Pretty easy, pretty cut and dry. But Without the Spirit of Christ residing in them, in God's eyes, it's no different. Hitler is a sinner, Gandhi was a sinner. Without salvation, without being born again, we're all the same to God. We're not fit for His kingdom. That's simple. That's simple. So, really, the gist of it is, if you don't care, then it doesn't matter anyway. I'm talking to you, but you're not listening. You know, if you're sitting there thinking, man, maybe that's me, you know, then that's awesome. That's the whole point. The point is to get this out, to make you understand. So first you have to understand that you do need God. Why? Okay. Here's the why. I said who, now here's the why. Romans 3:23, actually pretty close to where we were. It says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All has sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. God's standards, guys, are super high. Super high. He's perfect. He's holy. He's the creator of the universe, and He can't stand imperfection. He can't be a part of that. It can't be something He does. Like in Matthew 5:22, He talks about that, you know, it's been said, don't murder people. Don't murder somebody. Don't kill them. It's wrong. But He says that in God's eyes, being angry, having hateful thoughts at one another is as bad to God as murder is. He says in the same chapter, in verses 27-28, He says that you've been told not to commit adultery. He said, but looking upon a woman with lust in your heart is just as bad. You've already committed adultery in your heart. So God's standards are super high. You know, He looks at someone who's on death row the same way He looks at a congressman who's going to say a doctor, a lawyer. It doesn't matter. You know, nice, good members of society. To them, they're all the same to God. So that's important to keep in mind, because we're not any better. We're all on the same level. That's why when we were at the pool, was it the last time or the time before when Randy and Ray did they had a little skit? Okay, last time? Okay. And there was the part of the skit where there was the girl, she's saying she's struggling, she's having a hard time, and the religious Christians walk right by her. I hate that, because it's true. It's true, but it hurts, because it's too many of us are like that. Now that we're Christians and we go to church all the time, we don't hang out with people or never around people that are unsaved. But if you're not, then how are you ever going to show them God's love? You know, I'm not saying rush right out there the day you get saved and start working on it, because you might not be strong enough in yourself. But over time, it has to happen. But like I said, you're not any better because you didn't do anything. You're not some amazing, awesome person that stepped up and said, I'm going to be a Christian and be perfect from now on and everything else. No, you're a wretched soul God had mercy on. And He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it.